Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. Well, my pleasure, I must say, Baz. You have brought in a big fish this time. Life member, state player, he's done it all, premierships, the whole lot. And he came from a family of 11, if you don't mind, our next guest, Alan Stringer. They played as a family, 11, 979 games in the SANFL. Him and his brother Wayne, 661 games. So they contributed fairly well to that number, I might say. I must say, when you said he was coming on, I couldn't believe he'd turn up, but he has. Alan Stringer, our special guest. Alan, great to have you on the show, mate.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Baz.
Great. It is great to have you on the show, mate. I went through that record myself. Phil's obviously done the same homework that I've done. We spend days and days and days on it.
Oh, please. Can you see one thing here on the table that's got your name on it, Alan? Oh, the introductory sheet, mate.
Yeah, there is. But this one here got me, Phil.
Yep.
This one got me. It says here, one or more of the Stringer boys were in all but 2 of the 40 A grade and B grade premierships won by Broughton, Mundura, whatever. That is staggering. And the period between 1908 and 2014. So 1 or 2 of them played in all but 2 of 40 flags in that period of time. Stringers.
You know what they do? If he was a horse, don't you? Mate, they'd have him out in stud, mate.
Have him out there for sure.
Hey, Al, let's talk a little bit about your career, mate. You played under Noonan, you played under Cornsey. Could you separate them as coaches?
Both fantastic coaches, Phil. I was really fortunate. I really was. The time I spent at North Adelaide under Mick, a couple of seasons there of league footy, I learned a hell of a lot. And then went to Glenelg, and we were very fortunate. We had Graham Campbell for a couple of years, and then Cornsey come back in '85 and had some success. And 2 marvellous coaches. Very fortunate, Phil.
You coached. Did you take some of your coaching to North Clare Footy Club? Just
I did.
4 premierships in 4 years.
I did, Phil.
Yeah. Now, can you help me out with that? How do you win 4 in 4 years and then not go back for a couple more?
I'd had enough, Phil, at the time.
Had you?
I think I'd done my, you probably wears thin a little bit, I guess, sometimes. 4 years, 4 flags was fantastic. We actually moved to town then, my wife and I, Robin, and I then coached St. Peter's. So I wanted to take my coaching a little bit further. But I took a lot back from Mick and Graham. All my coaches.
Mate, when you talk about you've moved to the city now with your wife, you seem like an intelligent bloke.
Ex-wife now, unfortunately.
Ex-wife, mate. Well, yes, but why wouldn't have you moved? I mean, drive 100 miles in, 100 miles out for your whole footy career.
Yeah.
Really?
And then moved to town.
And then moved to town, yeah.
Interesting story. I did mention it to Robin. I was about 26, 27 years of age, and I was going okay. And I said to Rob at the time I wouldn't mind moving to town, And she wasn't in favour of it, so we didn't come. Yep. But that's okay, mate. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Burn out some cars, do you, mate? 100 miles in, 100 miles out. So that was 3 times a week?
Couple of times a week. I wore out 4 cars, I think, boys. But
that's with North Adelaide. That was just with
North Adelaide and Glenelg.
Yeah.
Started in '77. I come down playing under 19s at North. Yeah. Finished at the start of '89 at Glenelg.
Not bad coming in, but going home after training would have been a bit of a test.
Pretty tough,
Every
mate. Pretty
time
tough. Yes.
To do,
yeah.
And a strain on the family, surely.
It was. Yeah, Cornsey was a great guy and a great coach, but he only saw me a couple of times a week, so I'd always do a bit of extra on a Tuesday night, so hence I got home a bit later to start work on the farm the next day. But then, but hey, that's the way it is.
Couldn't do it today, Al? Couldn't do that?
No, we couldn't, mate, no.
It'd be a tough gig.
Yeah, but look, Mick Redden did it for all of his career, the list goes on, and Rick Davies, Trevor Sims, Bronte Mumford. The list goes on and on. Guys travelled and travelled.
Yeah, well, Rick used to come in a helicopter though. You used to at least drive.
Well,
we needed one.
Yeah.
We were only B graders compared with Rico.
Is that right?
I mean, let's talk about some of the B graders because there are a lot of A grades. You played in a great era of footy. We were talking just before we came on, and you dropped, a Jarman, a Bradley, that ilk of player we're talking about. Over the journey for you, a couple of the best guys you played with, and a couple you played against.
Yeah, I had great duels with Gary McIntosh for 5 or 6 years. Andrew Jarman as well. I remember standing Craig Bradley. He was a 17-year-old at Port in the mid to early 80s. And Bruce Abernathy was a marvellous player. Michael Aishi used to rotate a bit through the centre. Yeah, look, we're very fortunate. It was a wonderful time of footy, great standard of footy. Some great blokes I played with. Gee, Tony Hall and Stephen Kernahan, they come, and Peter Carey, of course.
Yes.
Gee, I was fortunate enough to play centre, and Super played all those years.
Would you been the best player for Glenelg? I mean, I know you talk about, you know, they've had some greats. You mentioned Kernahan before, but 400 games for Carey, 7 goals I reckon he kicked, if I remember right, in a final as a centre half forward towards the end of his career. Would he be dangerously close to Glenelg's best player?
Probably, Phil. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he kicked 6, I think it was, in '73. We were North Adelaide back then.
Yep.
And I know you mentioned Wayne and myself, but there was older brother Barry. Unfortunately, Barry's passed away now. He was amongst the 620 odd games that we played. But we were all North Adelaide then, and Glenelg beat us in time on period at Adelaide Oval. And I was only a 12, 13-year-old. But yeah, Super was a great player.
Why the move from North Adelaide to Glenelg? What happened there? Because you look very, very settled at North Adelaide. The whole Stringer family really settled at North Adelaide.
Yeah.
Then boom.
Yeah. Well, blood's thicker than water. Wayne had only played one final in 145 appearances at North, and that was in a losing elimination final with South Adelaide. He wanted some success. North was struggling a little bit at the time, and so we put ourselves on the market and tried to go to Port Adelaide. They didn't want us at the time.
Yeah, you tried. You had a crack.
Yeah, had a crack. Wrote a
what year would that be?
83.
83.
Wrote a letter to Russell Leavitt, and he didn't want us at the time, and that's fine. But Harry Kernahan decided they'd take a chance, and the rest is history.
We should have got rid of Russell then, I think.
Pretty hard to get rid of a 4-time Magarey medalist out of your club.
Good
mate.
point.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah.
I'd rather get rid of the Stringers.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Never knew that you tried to have a crack down there. What was it? Did he give a reason?
No, he didn't. We wrote a letter and just got a decline, but that's the way it is.
Okay.
You know, karma's a wonderful thing, because we did play against Rusty in some finals in 83 and 84 and tipped them out a couple of those years.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I
and
remember.
then poor old Russ had to move on, and we won a flag. So
well, we said, get the Stringers or you're gone. And he didn't get you. So
I might have been good enough to get a game anyway, Baz.
We know you.
Greg Anderson was another one I stood, and he was a marvellous player.
Good player as well.
Mate, you had a reputation as a bit of a hard man, as did Gary McIntosh, both hard men of footy, tough but fair, nothing cheap and nasty. But 1986, you're coming off the ground, mate, and a spectator has a crack at you. You don't see a lot of that anymore either. Thank goodness. Were you surprised when it happened?
Probably wasn't one of my proudest moments, Phil.
But he came at you.
He did. Look,
there's a difference.
Yeah, there is. We had a marvellous game of footy. I do remember it vividly. North v Glenelg, there was a little bit of feeling in a lot of those games, a lot of those years, and we were all together. We were lucky enough to win, and a spectator assaulted me and
coming off the ground.
From
behind.
Yeah, from the side, and
Just whacked you one.
Unfortunately, I retaliated, Baz, and I probably should have been a bit better than that, but it was one of those things that happened, and like I said,
pretty tough one though. Someone hits you on the ground. I can't see how the instant response isn't.
Right.
Mate, I'm going to have a great. Mate, move on from that.
Yep.
Gary McIntosh and you, as I said, both tough men, both hard men. You and him would have banged heads a few times over the journey, and then had to play in the state team together. How did that go?
It went really well, Phil. Like I said, stood Gary for years, and we never shook hands before, never shook hands afterwards, hardly said a word to each other all day, and locked horns a few times, and but then fortunate enough to play state footy with Gaz in '88, and we were best of buddies at training, and had a beer afterwards, and just enjoyed each other's company, and marvellous player.
Now, mate, I want to go somewhere here because you disappeared off the scene for a few years. I used to catch up with you a little bit at Flagstaff Hill and those places like that. You disappeared for a couple of years, and we found out that you were suffering a little bit. Do you want to take us through that? Because this is something that is close to my heart as well, with a lot of ex-sports people that go through the same sort of thing that you went through. Do you want to just touch on that for a short moment?
Yeah, and I won't keep you long. I can openly admit now and talk about it. I suffered from depression, anxiety really badly for at least 10 years, and struggled to, get the help that was required. Yeah, it's been a journey, but I've come out the other side, and I'm happy again within myself. And I'm.
This cost you a bit, though, mate.
Oh, it has. It
cost
has.
you
Yeah,
a lot,
it has.
yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. I can say that now.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a part of life. It's a journey, and one of my short-term goals is I want to get back out and guest speak maybe and help somebody. If I could help
has a similar
somebody
problem,
that has
yeah.
been through what I've been through, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I've got to thank, you know, and I rang him this morning, Scotty Hodges, and we all know Scotty. He's been a wonderful help. Him and his wife Kerry have been fantastic for 12 to 15 months.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that they saved my life.
Now, that's a big statement, but it's a
But
true
it's a true
one.
statement.
Yeah, my word,
It's a
is.
true statement.
No, because you contacted Scotty and you actually read Scotty's book.
I have, yeah, I
Picked
have.
it up, didn't put it down,
Yeah,
that sort of thing,
yeah.
and then rang him straight back afterwards.
Yep.
This did save you.
It did.
Save your
It
life.
did, Baz, because I had a lot of ups and downs, a lot more downs and ups, and but I saw some light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew a footballer. I knew somebody that'd come out the other side,
Scotty?
and it was Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look,
And
thank
you
you.
still talk regularly.
Yeah, we do fortnightly, weekly.
It's great.
Going crabbing with him in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I tell you, mate, it's unbelievable that you admit to it. Fantastic that you're able to deal with it, mate. And even more importantly, now you want to share it and help people. So, Alan, fantastic story, mate. We'd like to get you back at some stage and drill right down on that one because I think we need to be more aware of it. So, mate, really
Thanks,
appreciate
Phil.
your time coming in. Alan Stringer, our special guest. Stay with us.
Well done, mate.